as a board member, I'm supposed to make a decision when I've never even seen the deeds that are in question on this.
And those are in question from February 5th. 2 months, several days. I want to see the deeds.
As do I.
And it said that they exist, but where are they?
Obviously, they were.
Right here it says, "Hi Joan, attached, please find 4 old deeds that have been brought to my attention. Should these parcels be a split? Looking for your opinion on this issue. Signed, Jennifer DeLorge,
And
GIS, Bay County."
according to this, Joan Fackler, the assessor here, was sent this email on February 5th, and Ms. DeLorge, an employee of Bay County who works in the equalization department, never received a response from our paid assessor to her request. And then the email was sent yet again to include the supervisor, who then answered. So, is there a reason why the assessor didn't receive this email? Because she seems to be the person that would need to provide this information.
Right here it says on the 7th, I looked up the legals in this plot book, and these are the deeds. 33 feet wide for Seidler Road from East End, east of Mackinac, to M13 through the river flats. I understand there was a road there at one time, and the bridge over the river fell in. It was never replaced, so yes, Carl Collins owns the property. Jennifer, I assume these are reported there in the Register of Deeds. And you have them in the equalization area also? Thanks. Sam. From Jennifer, attached, please find some really old deeds. So they made it. They just haven't made it.
To this FOIA appeal.
Apparently they're on the Pony Express. Wells Fargo will get them for us next month. I make a motion that the deeds be present in our May meeting.
And that this is revisited at that time.
Who would like to second my
I
motion?
will second.
Roll call, please.
Well, I have a question first. So are we looking, he wants copies of the deeds or no?
The question would be, as a board, how are we supposed to even consider this appeal if we don't even have all the information that was provided in the email request from a county employee? We don't even have the deeds to look at to see what this is even regarding.
But is that what we're looking for? Is that what we're supposed to supply?
That's what I'm looking for in order to make a
I'm
decision.
talking about the FOIA request.
Says this appeal. Carl Collins Township owns the property, therefore take this FOIA appeal to the board. Back here, it goes on to say, I'll just read the whole thing, I almost have. In regards to number 1 of your request, we do not have these records.
What was the
But
request?
what is the request?
On
What exactly are we
314.
requesting?
Where's the original FOIA
Just a moment.
I don't think the original's even in here, is it? No. There's not even an original FOIA included in our packet.
Let me finish this reading. It's really great reading. Attached in this email is a correspondence from Sam that includes a correspondence between Sam Davison and Jennifer DeLorge and Joan Flacker to fill the second part of the FOIA. Joan did not reply to the email. Chain, Molly Reinhardt, Deputy Clerk. Next line, 3-6. We are waiting to extend this, we're writing to extend this response to this FOIA for an additional 10 days. 229. Dear FOIA, this Freedom of Information request copies of communications. Copy number 1. Copies Calhoun Township property referenced in the Michigan Department of Transportation plans of 1998. regarding Seidler Road deeds found by Bay County Equalization, title
Okay,
sheet.
but that's where I guess I'm confused with the question, because it's my understanding that they were not found by Bay County Equalization. They were found by the individual requesting a FOIA, and Jennifer looked into it to confirm what the information that she was given. So that's why I'm questioning, if the person already had the information, what is it we're supposed to be looking for? I mean, all of this came to us, we didn't bring it up. We weren't aware of it until it was brought to us by Jennifer, who, it was brought to her by someone else.
So you weren't aware that Coquitlam Township owned this property until it was brought up by Jennifer DeLorge? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So where is the list of all of the property that's owned by
We
people
don't
in
have a
Coquitlam
parcel number
Township?
for this. I don't know if it's an easy, that's my question. It appears as though the FOIA requester knew more than we did, and he went to Equalization and presented it to her, and she looked it up and called here. That's why my question is, what exactly is it we're supposed to be looking for? What do they want?
Has anybody done any digging on this? If this was brought to our attention through this, I mean,
Sam has, yeah.
I mean, because this was property that we owned, that apparently people didn't know that we owned until this point.
Well, doesn't it say in here, aren't they questioning if it's an easement? If it's an easement, it's not gonna have a parcel number, it's not gonna be a property.
But do we,
Who's using it? How about that question? Because I know the land we have over on Jose Road, the guy that lives to the west of it has got a nice little putting green on the back of it. I went down there and looked one day. He's got it all cut real nice and everything. And you don't have to buy it. We own
That's part
it.
of the FOIA question, that's what I'm asking. But I guess my problem here is that the requester is the one who had the information who brought it up. So
I gotta say that I would have thought that the township would have had a deed to a parcel they owned. So, at this point, since I don't have your answer, and there's an individual sitting here that did this, then please come to the microphone and tell me what your intention is regarding this specific, what is
I took no deeds to Jennifer DeLorge, and she found 2 of those deeds out of the 4. I never seen any of the deeds she found, any of them. She told me she was contacting the assessor and that she was going to contact the supervisor after not getting contact from the assessor.
Okay, thank you.
So this is Coquitlam Township property, she stated, because they did pay money. She said monetary, money
They own
for
it.
this. They own it.
And they've maintained it till the bridge fell in. Okay. I think I'll go back to my motion of we will revisit this next month and we will request the presence of the deeds in our meeting. They have to exist. Who would like to second my motion?
I don't,
Actually, Lori made it, and you seconded it.
okay, fine, we'll go with that.
So what did you say, the deeds?
We will revisit this specific appeal in May with deeds present attached, and we will ask Joan why there's been no response. We pay her, she at least can send us a piece of paper that we pay for. So 1 is the deeds and 2, response from Joan. That just modified that. Will you make the modification, please?
I will amend my motion as stated.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Glass,
So is that, yes.
and DeShane.
Yes.
Okay. In reference to FOIA request 2024-10, this is a FOIA Act request appeal. In reference to the in completion of the facts given, an absurd amount of money threatened of $1,600 to keep the truth away. This appeal is to be presented to the township board as I have spoken with the owners of the land in the FOIA, and information is being withheld without a doubt. Very provable in a courtroom. This is a chance given to the board to give transparency to the requester rather than retaliation. I am again confident much more information exists, as not one document was provided to me. I have given the township much information to go off of in reference to this FOIA request, but I feel there is much hiding going on, and this needs to end. Open the vault and let the information out rather than destroy it. This is a FOIA by Brad Eddy, South Huron Road, again to the township. First request, if for parcel, it gives a number. I am requesting all information in respect to the zoning designation. Please include any changes or documentation, including minutes, maps, notices, postings, notes, and any other information pertaining to the parcel of land. Current zoning is I-1. Number 2, information relating to the timeline that the land was zoned in 1992 to the current zoning. Please provide any documentation and land use restriction of record, including ordinance conforming rights. Zoning requests.
So it's basically just a different parcel with that same request. And then,
Yeah. And then there's current zoning is C2.
and then it also references include for both parcels number 5, master plan changes. If changes occurred due to the master plan, provide all notices to owners and laws enabling the Township of Clallam to change zoning and uses without owner's approval. So, what information was actually provided on this point so far? I know the appeal says not one document, but there's some documents attached here. Were any of those actually provided on this FOIA?
They were given to us, were they not? These documents were given, not made by us, correct?
Or recreated?
Yeah, I don't know if that's what this is.
No, I believe,
I don't know. This came from-
Brad, you included the warranty deed and stuff in it yourself, or did you get that
Yeah.
from us?
Pat Paget's trust, where she warranted the zoning, and then the zoning was changed without her notice.
We
I
don't,
did include
we
that.
don't have,
I'm sorry?
we don't have it. We've gone through tons of stuff.
And we can't find the change of zoning? I'm just asking, I don't know.
I believe that it has happened, and back then, they would say, we changed the zoning on, but they never gave an address or a parcel number, and so,
Yeah, but
that
how
was
is it?
well before our times.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
before
yeah, I
our
understand. I
92.
remember looking in the book, and I remember seeing when they were changing from CH zoning, country home zoning, to commercial, because I noticed that on the more southern part of our township, okay? So it became commercial, and now I understand part of that became industrial. And none of these people really know whatever happened.
They got rid of C3 and it's all light industrial. We know that it happened, we don't know why it happened, we don't know if they were contacted. I mean, it's just plain and simple. I mean, we've gone through some old records.
Is it possible that any of that would have been in the 18 boxes that
No.
were destroyed?
I mean, Well, it was minutes, but I mean, I can come up with minutes on some of this
Yeah.
stuff. But as I said, they don't give much information.
But anytime you change
George-
zoning, you have to have
George-
a public hearing. So there would have to be
No.
proof of the publication.
No, well,
We
of a
can prove
public
that it
hearing,
was,
right?
we can prove that it was
done.
done. We can prove that it was
We just don't know how it
publicized.
happened.
I don't know exactly on this one, I know it was on that other, where Brad is. I mean, we've done some research on Pat's.
So let me just go back to the question I asked on the first one. I see a handwritten note here. I believe that's the supervisor's handwriting that was then memorialized into a typed up memo with no signature on it that clearly shows that the estimate for this research is going to be 100 hours of work at $16 an hour. So it'll be $1,600 to get this information. Why was that, if what you're now saying is that it doesn't exist,
All right.
we don't have it,
All
where'd
right.
the 1,600 come
Okay,
from?
don't,
I'm curious.
I guess what I'm saying is he asked me on others, on his own property, about when it was changed, and he said it would be the same time as Pat's. I didn't find Pat's, I found his. We've tried, we're desperate. I'm telling you.
Okay, so let me just,
I did type this letter by request.
you did, well, and I see the handwritten information that you were given.
Can I
But,
interject first?
no. Okay, so here's the thing. It specifically says in Sam's handwriting and then typed up at his request, to research this information back to 1992 or before will take an estimate of 100 hours at $16 an hour, which is $1,600. If you wish this research, a 60% payment in advance will be required. I'm sorry, but that seems like extortion to me. So I've got an issue with that, just putting any kind of a figure like that. That is a crazy figure to put on a FOIA.
Well,
Okay, so can I ask a question?
absolutely.
It says she asked me if I could help her figure it out. We talked to Pat, and she claimed she had no idea
Brad?
this FOIA was being turned in.
Okay.
Which, after the fact, I'm being told that it doesn't matter, it's all,
That doesn't
it's all, it's all
Right.
public information. But it's the fact that it states that.
No, I just wanted your attention for a minute because she was talking and I wanted to make sure you heard what she was saying.
What was she saying?
I can't repeat it after her.
It
I
says
got
on
plenty
here
of
she
stuff
asked me if
between
I could help
Pat
her
and
figure
me.
it out.
What's that?
It says on here, she asked me if I could help her figure it out.
Yep.
Well, she came into the office and we talked to her, and she claimed she knew nothing about this.
She knew nothing about the FOIA,
Right.
correct, but she's been getting a hold of me for the past year on this property.
Okay.
So I sent in the FOIA, and Shirley did make a mistake statement that all C3 was turned into I1. That is not a fact at all. There is
Wasn't that what you were
C2,
told?
there is C2 and C3, both, that got changed between I1. My
And I
mother-in-law
And I
is one too.
apologize, I honestly, I know
And
911
Sam-
authority, but I could have
and
sworn
Sam
that
told me
that's-
before he left.
You said went to I-1 and
No,
C2?
C3 actually turned into C2 and I1, certain properties.
Oh,
Yeah, because
So
across the
kind of
street
pick
from
and
me is
choose.
industrial now and it was
Well, my
always commercial.
mother-in-law's property, Docket
I
Mobile
understand.
Homes,
No, no,
was
that's
changed
fine.
to, Docket Mobile Homes was changed to C3 by my father-in-law and his mother. And that was in 1979 and 1984. And then somebody changed that to C2. Okay? They didn't okay it, they got no notices. Addy Brothers was C3. It got changed to I1. And there's many other properties now that we have the flash drive. Pat Paget's property, she has the information in her safe that shows much of what happened. She's disturbed that it is not here at the township. It is in her safe where her husband turned it in 1992 with her to C3. I went through this with employees of the township on how Pat Paget's property got changed in a timeline. It was ignored. I mean, I've given you guys plenty of information to zero this in. Now, Sam did say Wade Trim he got a hold of, correct? I didn't hear any of you board members say that. And you guys were all there in a meeting out front, in a quorum. Melissa, Sherry, Shirley, and Sam this past week. I came in, and Sam was in here. You guys were all out front with all of my FOIAs.
No, it was 2 weeks ago, but that's beside the point.
Okay.
2 weeks ago?
Well,
Yeah,
Sam wasn't here last
he's
week.
been gone. You're right.
All right, well, how's this? It is, Sam has gotten a hold of Wade Trim to find out why this had happened. The problem with this happening is it changes people's uses on their property, and the widow, Pat Paget, warranted that with her husband in their trust in 1998. How did the township have a right to do that to a widow? Well, they did it to my mother, who was a widow, and they did it to my mother-in-law, who's a widow. I have a problem with this. And I think every person here should. Who's got morals? Now let's fix it and quit hiding.
Well, I think the biggest thing, now that we know about this, but we know we don't. We know about it, but we don't know about it. I know that sounds bad, but that's the fact of what we all just heard. You guys said that you can't find
We
documentation.
spent hours.
We have looked, we have, yes.
So,
And not on Pat's, but on that other one, that your folks. The one we were supposed to go back to 82, what was it, 79 and 82,
84, my
84.
mother-in-law.
Okay, that one. That's the one you came in and we were talking about.
and you can't find it.
They can't even find Pat Paget's rezoning application from 1992 that she's gotten her safe. She has sent me all of this stuff. And she said she will not give it up because the township, this was done at the township has to produce it. She deserves that. That is an iconic family here.
Oh, no,
I mean,
I
to be treating families like Dockett's, Paget's, Eddie's, like you know, not you guys, but the past board, whoever changed this stuff, this is wrong. It's pushing people out that we've been here. We've been taxpayers for years. I mean, 60 plus years, my family, my wife's well over 60. I mean, respect us rather than, I got the Riot Act read to me for FOIAs by all of those ladies. It's not right. I should be able to turn as many FOIAs as I want. Every member here of the public should be able to do the same.
Can't you as a board decide a lower fee, a reasonable fee?
As a board, I would like to think that we would try to research this and find the answer first. I think before we even establish that we're gonna charge somebody something, wouldn't that be the most logical?
Yeah.
If we don't have the information, so we then go into research, like, okay, Sam's contacted, so far I thought I heard, Wade Trim to try and understand some of this. So let's do our research and see if Wade Trim has the information.
He said it's Brad from Wade Trim.
So, and does equalization have the information when the zoning changed or anything? They have the original zoning.
Equalization, I sat with Brian Gillette. He said it cannot happen without a hearing. You cannot change zoning on anybody legally.
So we'd almost have to have somebody sit down and go through the flash drive and the minutes to find out when a hearing may have actually taken place.
We were doing that, but you find out, but it doesn't.
It's not there.
And I guess if Pat has that information, if she brings it in, couldn't we correct it? I mean, we have to see it first before we can just,
Where'd it go?
if we can't find it. I mean, yes, we are supposed to retain these records, there's no doubt about it. But this is something that none of us were here when it all happened. We can't make them up. I mean, we can't just pull them out of the fair wind or somebody's butt.
I'm gonna say it was in the 18 boxes.
I gotta, you know what? It may have been. And you know, there were so many documents, may have did X amount of documents and had a different person go to do the project, and they didn't pick up where the previous person